Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Mayor of the Kapiti Coast District Council, Mayor K.Gurunathan. And Guru, good morning to you. You certainly can be moved, and in some style, around the art trail, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was really, really interesting. I've done this now for several years, but when you're traveling around as mayor, it adds another layer of pleasure, if you like.
And a lot of pleasure was had by a number of people. The arts trail seems to be getting bigger every year. Yeah,
and it's fantastic because the creative sector on the Kapiti Coast it's an economic sector. People don't realize it is. And visiting the number of people, these are people, they are private enterprises. The craftsmanship that goes into the creativity that goes into it is fantastic.
And that's obviously a great success. We certainly, this year on Beach FM, as it happens, we talked to quite a few of the exhibitors, and they quite often volunteered the fact that this was a make or break for them. That the arts trail was the thing that made the difference to their business, made it under or over water, made it viable or not. So let's just hope that it continues to do the job there. However, we had the information come through last week that the Ffflair Festival is not on this year, and also, of course, that follows the announcement the Coastella Music Festival will not be happening in 2020. Now, these are both events the council's invested a lot of time and money in. Is there something going on with the major events? Is it falling over or not?
No, I mean, I suppose when you start a venture, you exercise your business acumen and see how it works out. I think with the Coastella one, there are a couple of other problems, like other events being held at the same time, traffic held up and stuff like that. And so when you've got a low amount of capital to survive on, it can be quite challenging. With the Ffflair one, I think they've taken their time. This is a huge undertaking they've taken on. And I think they are working out and to make sure that when they want to start, they need to start and make it a huge success. Because this is the type of event, if you hold it for the first time and it doesn't succeed or it doesn't perform to the very highest capacity, you will not succeed in the long term. So they are taking their time to embed a more secure platform for themselves. They want the plantings at the Aotearoa Park to be more established, and the business plans in terms of the networking they need to do into the whole horticultural industry to be much more secure. So we are absolutely in support of them taking their time to get the basic building blocks firmly in place before the big event takes place the following year.
Do we know how much council's invested in both of those events that are not going ahead?
I think the initial business assessment money, I think it's about 30,000 that went to Ffflair. The Coastella one, I can't tell you off the top of my head.
So a considerable investment, and to what extent is it purely the economic investment council makes, or are you sitting on committees and helping to make decisions as well?
Well, the committees that sit on this and the council that the ultimate decision comes to, we actually have advisors from the private sector to vet through the applications and see which are viable, which are not, and they give their advice. And of course, people like Ffflair and Coastella have done it like twice before. So, and then it's a learning experience. It's like a lot of things, particularly the events. You put in money and then you see how long it lasts. They are not easy things to do. But if you look at something like the Arts Festival, I mean, that's been going on for more than 12 years. And that's very established.
It does seem to be doing the job.
Yeah. And then the Kapiti Food Festival, I mean, that's the big one coming up.
Yes, we're coming up, and we're really looking forward to that. And that's, once again, one of the major events that is supported, along with the Kite Festival, the Maoriland Film Festival, which seems to be very well established as well.
So these are new ones that are coming up, and so I'm glad that Ffflair has taken their time to sort of make sure when they do kick off, it does so in a fashion that will give it long-term returns.
I'm speaking to Ben Hoyle tomorrow on the program, but I'm very intrigued by the statement that they put out. They say that they want to target 2021 now to allow more time to prepare the Aotearoa Park location. That suggests that it's not ready for purpose yet. Is that the case?
Well, that would be right. I mean, for what they want to do, but you can't say what that is until we have a full view of what they intend to put in display on it.
What's this reason that I was asking about, how much decision-making is going? Because the Coastella problem in large measure was caused through the M&M concert, which, of course, attracted an enormous amount of musos to Wellington rather than to the coast. And that was foreseeable. A date change could have made an enormous difference. And that's the reason I ask about the decision-making. Is it robust enough?
Well, I suppose it goes back to the people who are the organizers and the people who are putting, who are organizing this event. I mean, they need to get all the ducks in a row. We can only support them in terms of believing that they've got this worked out.
Okay,
and
so
also, some of the things you can foresee, and I think there was traffic problems along the road, some accidents, something like that. They'll kill it. They can kill an event.
Well, traffic is a factor that we have to live with and factor into our decisions, isn't it? That's for sure. On I think a more positive note, we had a very major housing report that was released late last week, I believe, and this is very much customised for the Kapiti coast. It suggests there's significant expansion to come, sir.
Well, this is the housing and business capacity assessment which the region was required to do under the government's national policy statement on urban development capacity. Part of that, we worked with four other councils in the Wellington region, because the housing area is not just a Kapiti problem, it's a regional problem, a national problem. So we need to have I think we are developing into what would be considered a special plan for the region. And therefore, the ID consultants who did the population projections are expecting by 2047 the Wellington region population to expand from about 550,000 to 610,000 by 2047. Part of the study means they also customize the projections for each of those urban councils. Kapiti is expecting its population to increase by 13,000 by 2047. Currently, the population is about 53,000, so it will go up to 65,785. What this means is we'll be needing 6,000 new dwellings over the next 30 years. So this is, but that's just on a moderate growth trajectory. We don't know whether with the opening of the transmission gully and the expressway up to Otaki, whether this will even go on a higher level of higher trajectory of growth, which would mean problems, because what we see is for the next decade we have the capacity, the land capacity to accommodate this growth, but after that we need to be thinking of creating new capacity for development. What that would mean also means that because the projection is based on what's available under the current district plan, we may need to rejig the district plan.
Right.
What the pressure is also saying is that the government is looking at increasing in density of population around transport hubs. We're building higher density housing, as well as going out. We need to build up. But the problem is people come to the Kapiti Coast not for higher density housing. They want sole dwellings. That seems to be the trend. You would recall for the last, 12 to 15 years, we have had medium density zoning around our main urban centers and transport centers, but it's never been very popular. The only places you see apartment type accommodation is like Parapam Beach and a little bit in Rameri Beach area.
I think it's never been popular with developers in particular, and I don't know whether it's a matter of build it and they will come or not.
No. I think they react to demand. Families coming in here people coming in here like a bit of dirt around, a bit of garden around. So that's been, and also if the developers, I'm not sure, but I'm just taking a punt on this one. I think the marginal returns on sold dwellings is higher than
yes.
what they can get.
Yes, and that's exactly the point I was getting at, that it's more popular with developers. And looking at the thousands, and I suspect you're correct, that the estimations in that report on the conservative side, I've got a feeling there's going to be more expansion than was hinted there. Have we got enough development or land available to house a variety of housing? To house the people coming?
Yeah, well, the first thing to realize is that Kapiti Coast is a very narrow ribbon of land, and most of the solid ground areas where you can build very quickly and cheaply have been taken up. So the type of land you're looking at, this whole area used to be wetlands. We used to call them swamps before, but they were given more respect and they call wetlands. And reclaimed land, of course, is open to higher water levels. So the initial investment you put into building is higher. The amount of peat that you need to take out and replace with sand is higher. So the land is more expensive to develop.
Which makes it more difficult to develop low-cost housing, doesn't it?
That's right.
And that is one of the issues that we're going to have to work through in days to come. And interesting also to see that this morning that the Kāinga Ora, I think they're called now, having a dedication in Makarini Street for new housing coming to Kapiti. So that's a good move in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're building about 13 new houses, but from the government side, I think it's not enough. I think they've targeted about 40 eventually, but the demand is around, my estimate, demand is around 300.
Yes, I'd go. In fact, it may be slightly higher. Officially, it's around about 100, but they say at least triple that, don't they?
Well, the demand, they say, is 100, but the methodology they use in measuring the demand is, I think, is suspect.
Yes. I'm with you all the way. Have you ever seen that survey? 343 questions, I think there are. It's very, very daunting, and it's certainly not made to encourage people to go on that list. Number of issues there. Look, it's been a delight talking to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us this morning here on Beach FM.
Thank you, John. Thank you to the listeners.
106.3 Beach FM.